Morning. Just obviously getting ready for this team. It's well-coached team. They don't make mistakes. They're getting turnovers on defense, playing real good third down red zone defense, and offensively, Barkley is an exceptional player. They're doing a good job with their run schemes, and quarterback's playing well, and they're not turning the ball over. So it's a good team.
Mention Bart. Go ahead.
I was just good. When you see Dexter Lawrence on film, it's pretty unique the kind of production he's having from a zero tech that lines up mostly over the center. Just what does that do to an offense? How difficult is it for those interior guys when you've got a guy that's a nose tackle that's got 5 sacks, 17 quarterback hits, and is that productive at that spot?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he didn't come off the field. That's one thing. It's rare that you get a player that is that type of nose, if you will, but that shows that how productive he is and versatile. So he can play with leverage. He does play with leverage. He's stout. He's strong. He can push the pocket. He can get an edge and get around you in it. And so it certainly helps you. I mean, because he can play the run and he can push the pocket in the pass game.
In that same way, how's Frank doing, and what we see in the practice? Where's that?
He was just out there. The boot now is on the other foot, so it's good news.
Is that just protective? Like, has he been wearing that because of the toe and everything?
Yeah. So we'll see where he goes. He's not going to practice today, but I know he feels a little bit better.
You mentioned Saquon, and obviously we all know he is a really good player. They do have the running dynamic from their quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
How does those two things sort of factor in, like keeping an eye on him? Well, obviously Saquon is sort of their, the engine that makes their offense go.
Yeah, I mean we can't lose sight of him. I mean I've got some clips that I pulled up, where they'll have some quarterback-driven runs that'll pop up every once in a while. They don't do a ton of it, but there's enough of it to pay attention to, because he's got speed and he can run. And then there's a couple of times on third down where he'll take off, if it's not there, and he'll get the first down with his feet. So, I mean that's part of it. I mean they're running the ball well, and most of it is Barkley, and that's where the explosive plays are coming from him. But the quarterback, that's helping the quarterback play well too. And they're playing good football right now. They're very efficient.
Stopping Fields the other day, was that just a matter of those 4 or 5, plays that he had? Other than that, how do you think you did against him?
Yeah, I thought we did very well. I mean, I thought relative to since they've revamped their offense over there, we played him about as good as you're going to play him. Take away, 2 of those runs. We did what we needed to do, and that's, I just bring it back up again. It's not an easy thing to do, is to rush with patience, and it's and knowing that it's going to be 5 seconds at a minimum is how long it's going to play, and then those guys in the back end to cover that long. So, yeah, I thought all in all we did a good job. We knew what we had to do, and those guys attacked it. And Thursday I came away from practice. I was really excited about how we handled it, and just because you could see the emphasis and our guys working through it, and it showed up on Sunday.
Face an offense like this, conservative, I guess, in some degrees, run heavy, not a whole lot of deep passing, but also not a lot of turnovers. What are the points of emphasis to a successful defensive performance?
For us defensively? Yeah, well, here's the thing. Barkley, man, they're going to give him the ball. I mean, he had 32 carries last week, and they'll give it to him over and over and over. I mean, he'll get 6 in a row, and he doesn't lose any steam. And so, I mean, that's the other thing. You'll see runs even from last week, 3-yard run, 1-yard run, 2-yard run, 27, 17, 2-yard run, and then it's, 25-yard run. So he is dangerous. He can run between the tackles, but if he finds a crease, and those guys push on him enough up front, they'll bang away at you. But he's got enough patience, and if he can find that crease, he's got breakaway speed. He's got strength to get through the hole, and he can turn a routine run into an explosive run like that. You see him on the perimeter, and he gets an edge, he's gone. So that's where he's just different. He's got this dynamic speed about him, among other things. So, we say it all week, but I mean gap responsibility, and everybody's got to do your job, and we can't have one error, one bust, one guy out of position, because that's all it'll take for them to get something big out of it, turn it into points. And look, we need a takeaway. This team's not doing it, but we have to get a takeaway. You know, that's something we've been good at the last 4 or 5 weeks. We need it. You know, it's helped us.
Coach, what do you think of Hutchinson's development now? You look at mid-season now. The last couple of weeks he's made game-impacting plays. Just wondering, from your eyes, how has he developed in that regard?
I would say he's coming along nicely. You know, every week he gets a little bit better, and he makes a few more plays. You know, he learns pretty quickly. So, you know, look, there's still things that happen to him, but he doesn't make those same mistakes twice, which is what you're looking for. So, you know, one of the things that we appreciate about him, not only is he growing, but he's an asset in the run game and the pass game. You know, he's all encompassing. I mean, he plays with high motor, he plays with technique, he's relentless. I mean, hell, he got a critical holding penalty the other day just trying to violently shed the block, you know, and that's a 10-yard penalty against them, and knocks them back to 2nd and 18, which turns into a Kuda's touchdown. So everything, you know, there's things that you see all the time, and then there's indirect production that we're getting out of him that's good. But he's growing, he's getting better. I mean, he's got a long ways to go, but every week he gets a little better.
Is indirect production an example of Kuda's interception where, you know, because he stayed home, it kind of helped?
Sure. I mean, that's where it all started. I mean, he sniffed out the screen, and Fields wanted to throw it up, and then realized he was right there. So then he held it, and then since he held it, here comes Bugs and Will Harris, you know, and force him to get rid of it. Ill-advised throw, and we capitalized off of it. But it started with him.
Your experience around the game, when you see a team that has the turnover differential or the number of giveaways that they do, what is that typically a product of being able to take care of the ball like that?
Look, you know, they're obviously emphasizing it like most teams do, but they're capitalizing. I mean, they're not, you know, Barkley, who carries a heavy load, is doing a good job of securing the football, you know, because they are so run heavy. And the other thing is the passes that they are throwing are very high percentage passes, so that's why you're not seeing the interceptions. They're really not in too bad a position, you know. You don't ever see them they haven't really gotten a spot where they've had to play from behind or anything like that and start forcing some passes. And so it's kind of all encompassing, you know. They've been in every game and found a way to come away with them at the end. You know, they're just playing pretty clean football, you know. And that's credit to Dayball. He's coaching them well.
You said you worked with Brian back in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen him evolve as a coach now in this, you know, obviously it's his first head coaching opportunity?
Yeah, he was, from the time that I worked with him, he was always, and I was always real impressed with him, you know. I mean, he's very smart, high energy, you know, he's got a real good personality about him. You know, he can mesh with just about anybody. And he was fun to work with. I mean, he really was. But, you know, at that time, he'd come straight from New England. And so, you know, they had everything that they were doing offensively and what they were doing with Brady. And so that's a lot of what we implemented. But then you've just seen, from afar, I've seen his growth as a coordinator, you know, and what he was able to take just, you know, at Kansas City and Cleveland, and, you know, and then he goes to Alabama, he comes back, you know, he's a position coach, pass game coordinator, and then at Buffalo, and now to head coach. And so he's got a ton of experience with a lot of good coaches, a lot of different places. He's met a lot of different people. You know, he wasn't, I think, just being able to kind of be around and get a vantage point of different, you know, a little bit of everything, players, coaches, schemes, I think has helped him. So I got a lot of respect for him. I think he's a hell of a coach.
You had said you might know more on Chark yesterday. Is there an update on that?
Yeah, we're gonna let him run around today. We'll start his clock, you know, and just let him do some individual work today and see how he feels.
And I know we asked
I know we ask about Jameson every other week, so we get asked about him basically every day. Just curious if there's do you guys have like a target date in mind with Jameson on starting his class?
Not really. I mean, I would say, probably after Thanksgiving sometime would be the best way to, that I think that's tentatively what we're looking at. I don't know if that would be the Jacksonville week or the week after. It could be next week. It's just we're not doing a ton, but he's close. It's certainly won't be this week, and I don't see there again him playing for Thanksgiving, but we'll see where it goes. He's progressing. There's no setbacks.
You talked about how momentum has given confidence to the players. What's it doing for the head coach?
Yeah, I mean, look, winning helps everything, but I haven't lost confidence. I didn't lose confidence when we were losing. I mean, I know how close we are. So winning helps everything, and that gives everybody a pep in their step. You're able to recover just a little bit sooner, getting ready for the next opponent. But nothing that we've done has surprised me to this point over these last 2 weeks. We've made more plays than the opponent to win the game, and we didn't do things that ultimately cost us the game. So we got to continue to trend that way, and then really, I think the focus has got to be how do we stay out of the position we were in the fourth quarter early. How do we get out of that? We got to eliminate. We had a bust. We didn't fit a gap right. Fields breaks it. Offensively, we don't ID a protection correctly, and now we're 2nd and 18. So those are the little things that are next to correct, so that we can continue to get better from here. Because that's the key. We've won 2 now, but we have to get better. We have to be even better if we want to continue this. Okay.